What's up guys and welcome back. My name is Jake Towell and this is my art series where I share with you guys some pieces throughout my art career. Today we have a really cool illustration. This one has a very interesting background as to why I made it. Tons of great colors within this one. I think this piece is a very funny piece. It's nothing too crazy. This video won't be long explaining this one, but you definitely want to stay tuned for the fully rendered image at the end of this video, so stay tuned because there's a lot of really great small details within this one. So today I am presenting to you Blob Invasion. So now for the little backstory before I get into the sketch phase of this piece. I'm throwing up on screen right now this illustration actually on a wall that I took a picture of in Milwaukee. This was a project of mine where we were trying to conceptualize a large-scale graffiti illustration for a real-life wall. So I found a wall that I wanted to, in theory, illustrate, and as you can see, the building itself is actually being destroyed by this blob monster in the middle, and you can see the building is actually very well merged within the illustration with the blocks in the middle of the illustration. I can get to that in the fully rendered image here in a second, and you can kind of see why all those small details within this one are making a little bit more sense. But without further ado, let's get into the sketch phase. Pretty solid sketch phase. Honestly, I think I went through with most of all my ideas here within the sketch phase. In terms of the scaling, I think I did a really good job for this blob to fit the building itself that I was just talking about before. But overall, the sketch phase, super clean. Really nothing I can say changed about it. Very solid. Let's move right into the line work phase. Again, a very simple piece, but I really love the line work in this one. Everything really shows here. You can see the building is a lot more structured. Everything is a lot more visually interesting. A lot of those awkward gaps are filled, and the line work just looks really clean. Again, at this period in time, I was really honing in on my style, and I really figured out what my style looked like. Again, another week, another successful line work phase. So let's move into the fully rendered image. Alright guys, here we have Blob Invasion. So the story behind this piece, obviously, as I've already said, is there's a blob busting through this building, and you can see where the brown is here was my idea of how the wall would be intertwined within the piece. So if I actually turn that layer off, you can see the wall was supposed to fit within those bricks in the middle of the mouth, going through his lip there. And so when we go back to the illustration of it on the wall, you can see the texture of the wall intertwined with the illustration in those blocks in the middle as well as around the sides there. So let's talk about a little bit of the details within this piece. Again, he's a monster breaking through a building. So what's inside of a building? We have apartments. Here we have a bed, a little closet there broken up. We have a pipe exposed in the wall. Wrapped around this monster's eyeball, we have 3 people that he's secured there. Obviously more broken rubble. Another room here looks like a dining table, as well as exposed pipes shooting water out onto the monster. We have a pipe here breaking through his lip, which is kind of cool. Another eyeball coming out of that hole there, breaking through the actual wall of the illustration. Looking down at this little bedroom at the bottom, also exposed pipe shooting water into the monster's mouth there. On the top of the monster here, we have an exposed brain also scooped over into that bedroom. Another hole with 2 eyes. This one's just looking at the other eye. Another exposed pipe. His hand actually gripping the edge of the wall within that smaller bedroom there. More pipes breaking open, spilling into the building and a little bit out of the building. And we also have another eyeball looking at another victim of this monster's destruction here in this other bedroom at the bottom. You can see the person panicking looking at the eyeball. Another really cool Jake Towell illustrated mouth here. Lots of really cool teeth. Again, we have that building structure breaking through his lip there, bleeding into his mouth like this one. We have this really vibrant acid green looking slime coming out of his tongue. And he actually has 2 tongues. You can see his tongue up there and his tongue down here wrapping around that pillar. We have another hand gripping the outside of the wall there, and also a lot of really cool graffiti to fit with on the wall here. So this one says Jake. If you guys didn't know, I kind of came from doing graffiti. That was like my initial love when it came to illustrations and drawings, and so this was kind of fun to just add small illustrations of graffiti on the wall to further help the graffiti idea. Another Jake illustration down there with more graffiti here. That one's just just random bizarre shapes. So is this one. Looks like graffiti, right? More graffiti there. Another cool little symbol, and another one here, of course. And there you guys have it. Blob Invasion. I really like this piece. It's not, again, not something that I would consider one of my best pieces or one of my favorites, but it's a cool one because it is meant to fit within any wall that you throw it on, preferably a giant building because the scale of the rooms has to fit. It'd be really cool to realize this type of idea in real life. Maybe one day I'll get there and be able to do something like that. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like. It would help me out a lot. Leave a comment down below what your favorite part of this piece was. And if you guys could subscribe, that would help me out a ton. Thank you guys again for making it this far and watching this video. And I will see you guys every week, if not 2 weeks. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.